Hi guys, this is skittflash here, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3 FES. Apparently Mitsuru has something to tell us. What is it, Mitsuru? Yeah? What about it? Oh, the first bear? Come on, Mitsuru. Elizabeth already told us this. You need to get with the times. We are so ahead of the loop, we are just cool like that. Well, that's because we have otherworldly beings always telling us stuff before everyone else knows. Like, good old boy in the striped pajamas telling us about, the full moon, or, Elizabeth telling us about the change in Tartarus, which we will be exploring all of this part today. Sorry about that. I mean, it's part of the game, and it is fun, but, I did say I would try to cut a lot of it, and I will try to cut a lot of it. I will try to do more. So I actually just skipped a bunch of floors there. All I skipped was floor 15. Typically, floors between, the farthest checkpoint and floors between the barriers are really small to accommodate the fact that, you have to go through them. So typically floor 15 is, what I'm trying to say is, floor, 14 or something is the last, is as high up as you can go. And floor 16 is the barrier, so everything in between that is typically easy. But here we are in a new area of Tartarus. There's a new block, new enemies, new layout. Same old me getting my ass kicked. So I will be showing off the new enemies. As soon as I see them a second time, I'm cutting that shit out. Because, yeah. So here we, and this, I mean, is it so necessary to show these enemies? I mean, obviously it is. These are some kind of, what are these? What are these even? These are grieving tiaras. They're so much different than the muttering tiaras because they are actually weak to Bufu, which I don't actually have a competent persona who can use Bufu. If only I had a good persona that had ice attacks. Jack Frost. Because this game, Atlas Shin Megami Tensei games, just fucking love Jack Frost. And you logically should have him at this point in time, so I'd recommend actually fusing him, unlike me not fusing him, which will bite me in the ass later. I will admit, I'm incompetent when playing this game, but in hindsight, I do slightly know what I'm doing. And we got a rare one, and we let it go. I had some Crocodile Dundee impression I was supposed to do during that, but I don't even remember what it was. There's an access point if you want to bail, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Honestly, this is actually my second recording of this. The first time I met some enemies that totally killed me. And this is the first floor of the new set of floors. Meaning that this is as easy as it gets, so it means and the worst part is you can't even grind against this. You can't grind to prepare yourself for the first floor. Because the only things you can grind onto that are easier than these enemies are enemies that give you 2 XP apiece. So, we just can't do this. So, these are birds. As you'd probably expect from a flying type, they're weak against lightning attacks, which Omi Akane actually has, if you could actually hit them. Although I can understand if birds were weak against, Garu. I mean, typically they're resistant, but honestly, if a bird flew into a tornado, don't you think its shit would get, slightly discombobulated? But I understand thunder a bit more. Well, actually, have you ever, I've always tried to, mentally wrap my finger around, how, Pokemon, in particular, Pokemon weaknesses work. Flying is weak against thunder. And to me, that makes sense, because if a bird got electrocuted and paralyzed, it would fall to the ground and die. I mean, if that's what they were going for, I don't know, maybe birds are totally susceptible to lightning storms, because you'd think you'd see birds in lightning storms, but that's just how I think. And it makes sense, so I don't argue about it. It makes sense in my crazy logic, granted. But we have actually new shuffle time stuff. I mean, it's the same as the old shuffle time stuff. What am I doing getting into an optional battle? I am such an idiot. Anyways, we got the sky balance. No. Heat balance. They look slightly bigger than the heat balances we saw on the train, though. Odd. And I feel like they give us less XP, which is kinda gay. What was I saying? What was I saying at all? Me fighting an enemy when I'm not supposed to? Don't do that. That's stupid of me. And it all stems from one really, really gross miscalculation that I make about these set of floors, but just keep cool. And if I had a Jack Frost, honestly, this wouldn't be a trouble, but I don't have Jack Frost. So, that just sucks. That's typically how RPG heroes operate. Getting the cup isn't actually a bad idea. You will be having to spend a lot of your SP healing yourself, and if you can actually heal yourself through other sources... Ooh, they dropped Onyx. You want Onyx. Onyx is, the most useful thing you can ever get, and for some reason you stop seeing them on later floors, which is just stupid. So, Now would actually be a good time to grind for a lot of Onyx if you wanted to do that through sky balances. Because, like, if you actually come back here later in the game, there's this, specific trouble that you can actually run into, so you don't actually want to just grind while you still can, and make use of the Onyx you can, and take a mental note that you can actually get Onyx on this set of floors, because it's a cool thing. So, again, the floors are kind of getting samey, so honestly I should cut it out. I will be showing that these enemies are the death of me. The first time, and pretty much any other time. Their only weakness is light magic, and if you don't know light magic in this game, it's really, really freaking unreliable. At least at low levels, which we would have because we don't have any high level light magic at this point in time. Except maybe items, which is stupid. So the problem is they have Maragi, which kind of F's your shit up. And the problem is they're not weak to anything that actually does damage. Because light magic and dark magic are instant kill moves, either they hit or they don't. Which is totally unreliable. And I'm switching to Aramitama because I think he was allergic to fire. He wasn't. And Bash, I've used Bash a lot off screen, and never once have I seen Bash actually make contact. I am kind of wondering if that skill is even possible to hit enemies. Honestly now. And it's gonna kill me with Maragi. If Minato didn't actually dodge that Maragi, he would be dead. I just want to point that out. Because I get whipped this episode, I'll be honest with you. I do have to do some off-screen grinding as to not get whipped. And I gotta make sure Minato's alive because, you know, that would entail getting whipped. And just want to kill these things. Again, if you had, like, a unicorn, I'm assuming, it would have Hama, and you'd be able to deal with these guys 50% of the time. Just want to throw that out there. Ah, dogs. This is why I didn't want to record earlier, but they stopped, and I was like, yay, the dogs stopped, I can go record. But now they're here, and they're barking like never before. So it's using Mudo. Mudo has a 25% chance of fucking Junpei over. So, you know, logically, 25%, it works every single time the enemy does it. Well, okay, maybe not. It works half the time the enemy does it, which is still skewed odds, might I add. But yeah, it will instant kill you. So, you know, that kind of makes me nervous, because if Minato just got insta-killed, I would lose a lot of save data, which happens a lot when I play this game. I will be honest, but it happens much more than I would want it to. Save often, that's my only tip I can give, and have multiple save points. Luckily, those guys drop old lanterns, which will give you a lot of money if you collect 3 of them. And we are now level 10. Whenever you reach, I guess a multiple of 10, you actually gain 2 more personas, up till 12. Up to a maximum of 12. So now we can actually hold 8 personas. So, screw you, Pokemon. We just trumped your 6 in a heartbeat. And we also wield gods instead of just Pokemon, so ha ha ha. Again, me battling optional enemies. This is a really, really good way of draining all of my friggin' SP. And so is improper persona usage, because these guys are weak to Bufu. If only we had some, you know, totally magical Jack Frost that actually had a Bufu skill, maybe this fight wouldn't take as long as it did in recording. So yeah, all we do in this fight is fight in this. And I guess it's the Lover's Arcana, and it's resistant to wind. I don't know why Lover's Arcana and wind are so affiliated with each other in this game, but they are. Yukari is a Lover's Arcana, and she uses Garu skills. Ain't that just weird? And these fuckers use Daya. That's something else lovers do, typically, is they heal each other, or heal people, like Yukari, and it makes for a really, really overly long battle. If I had Bufu, these guys would be dead right now. I can rough estimate. So, sorry for wasting your time because of my improper stupidity, but I will be cutting things. We do surprisingly get a lot done in this 15 minute part, because I get to the first mini boss. I don't fight it, but I get to it, which is significant. What is that, like? Yeah, 11 floors, I think. Spoilers. So yeah, that's significant, I guess. It's cool. I mean, I'll start. I'm only showing this boss. Well, for one thing, I'm only showing this atrocious me battling skills because this is the first time we ever see these enemies. But you know, now we know Mar Karin, luckily, is just as useless as when we use it. Hooray! Thank God. But just whittle them out. Again, the problem with not using weaknesses is you end up using a lot more SP than you need to, and when you're going off Tartarus, and breaks are few and far between, you know, having a lot of SP is kind of useful, which I make a bad thing. It actually charmed me. Horrible. And it's actually healing myself. This is what happens when you try to rush enemies. You end up dying. I don't know why. And Junpei ends up missing all the time when I rush. Never understand. And now Junpei is charged, but it's dead, so it doesn't matter anymore. Yes, that was a long fucking... How long were we there? Oh my goshness. Yeah, again, I want to apologize, viewers. This is just... I'm looking at this in fucking hindsight. I'm swearing too much, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this in hindsight, and I'm just face-palming right now. Because, yeah, what are we? We're on floor 18. The thing that really got me, the whole reason I'm being as, like, you know, slow as I am, is because I thought that the checkpoint was at floor 20. Floor 20. Floor 20. But no, so I thought, like, you know, I just get to floor 20, and, yeah, I'm set. I can go back and regain all my SP. Wrong. Very, very wrong. The next thing is actually on floor, it's actually on floor 25, which is bull. I mean, like, you know, you always think it's, oh, if those, like, shadows are glowing in purple, don't fight them. I mean, you can, and you will want to fight them when you're feeling confident, which I'm not at the moment, because they're usually typically really, really hard shadows, and you don't want that to happen, because hard shadows will be the death of me. I'm already dying from these normal shadows, so, you know, you don't want to mess with these people. So these guys, resistant to Zeo, thank you, past me, and, weak to Garu. So Yukari can at least knock her down. But she's not going to knock all of them down because her programming does not know yet that they're actually weak to Garu, so she's going to attack the same one twice. That's just something I noticed with the AI. Unless you scan them and they know that they're weak to that ability, they're not going to exploit them. It's kind of an odd phenomenon, but, you know, it doesn't matter because I do think that the game's AI is actually pretty competent for, you know, for not having an option to switch to manual control like Persona 3 Portable does, or 4. So the only persona that I have that can use Garu skills is Angel. And she does not really have the potential to beat anybody with her low magic skill. So, you know, that's kind of unfortunate, and that's going to drag things on. Luckily, you know, we still have... Yukari cannot participate in this beating because I guess she's knocked down. That's unfortunate. But yeah, again, because they can exploit weaknesses too. Ain't that just horrible? But yeah, I can't believe, I mean, like, it's sort of we sort of did a lot this part, but we sort of did nothing this part. It's kind of odd. Don't know what to think about this part. I mean, this is an RPG. You gotta show some RPG things. I mean, just because we've been doing social, I mean, I do think social links is, like, the whole, like, keeper of this game, but, you know, RPGs is pretty important. So we're at the last floor between the checkpoint. Thought past me before his hopes and dreams were totally shattered. And from the looks of it, Minato and Yukari are both sort of out of SP, which makes battles that much more bullshit. Which is why I'm entering Solid Snake mode, as I call it. Because, what this entails is not fighting anything. You don't want to fight... Okay, you want to fight this guy, and show him what's up. But, you kind of want to avoid as much battles as possible. Except when you actually do these battles. With a new enemy? No, they're not. I'm just gonna bail because these guys killed me when I had full health. I don't want to even fight those now. So I'm not really I'm not really making use of Solid Snake mode, but basically all you just do is don't fight enemies, just make for a dash to the next checkpoint. And typically that actually works. As long as you keep on running away, I mean, you're gonna get whipped when you actually try and fight the mini boss because you're low leveled because you've been running away. But all you have to do is some grinding, which we'll probably have to do anyways because this game is just hard like that. And yeah, you'll be set. So I'm gonna slither my way through the next 5 floors because I cannot probably survive any of these battles except for the golden one. The golden ones are easy if you can actually fight them. And you might as well, you know, collect. Even though we're in a pinch, that doesn't stop us from getting treasure like that, right? Nah. So I'm just gonna slither my way through the rest of the floors. There's the stairs, but it was blocked by a shadow, who still insist on chasing me. Problem is, they're fast. A gross miscalculation on my part. But I just have such a big problem with running away from battles, I'll be honest with you, that even though I was at a disadvantage, I had to fight that guy, because that's just how I roll. So just pretend that I just climbed up 4 floors, and now we're at floor 25. And we will be fighting the mid-bosses on floor 25 some other time, because I need to get the hell out of Tartarus. That was all the Tartarus I need for like 2 weeks of in-game Persona time. So until then, this has been Skittflash. Hope you've enjoyed watching. This has been a really weird part. Bye.